Now, if you're the kind of gamer that loves puzzles, exploration, and battling strange creatures, you might like this title for the Oculus Rift. That's unless you hate dying and dying over and over again. Hey guys, John Velasco here with VR Source, and this is our video review of Chronos for the Oculus Rift. So Chronos is an adventure RPG game similar to the Legend of Zelda series. It does employ a unique VR element, which I'll talk about later, but it was made and developed exclusively for the Oculus Rift. As far as the story goes, you're placed in the role of our hero. You can choose to be either male or female, and you're given this task to save the world from this great evil. Now, this great evil came in the form of this dragon that just annihilated the modern world, and you could see the destruction, devastation in the horizon as skyscrapers are pretty much crumbling and barren. And of course, being a traditional adventure RPG, it features elements like strange creatures, puzzles, giant cyclops, a lot of magic, a dragon, and yes, our hero to save the day. The gameplay is pretty big on precise timing. This isn't a button masher like the God of War series. So there are three main controls for the character. You can attack, you can defend, and parry. And you have to master all three to defeat your enemies, because if you don't, you'll find yourself dying several times. Now, it features all the traditional RPG elements, so when you defeat enemies, you'll gain experience points, new abilities, weapons, and upgrades. And along the way, you'll find some puzzles too. Some of them are pretty easy early on, but as you progress, they become increasingly tougher. And of course, some of them require you to backtrack to previously explored areas to figure out. Now, the unique thing about Chronos is that when you die, and die you will many times, you age by a year when you respawn. Now, this isn't a problem early on in the game because you'll gain abilities faster, you'll become stronger, you're going to be more agile. But it's only when you start to get into the 50s, 60s, you'll notice a big change to your character physically. And of course, how they move and interact too. So they're going to have a tougher time, wielding that axe, that heavy axe, and defeating enemies. And it's kind of crazy because next thing you know, it's grandma trying to save the world. If I could go back to the VR aspect of the game, it utilizes this fixed third-person view, kind of similar to the old Resident Evil series. So basically, you're looking at the scene from a third-person view, and with the Oculus Rift, you could look around the scene to survey it. And this is crucial because you want to use it for your advantage, because you just don't want to come across an enemy unexpectedly, and then you have no plan of action from there. Now, overall, the VR element is pretty subtle. There are a few times you go to a first-person view, but it can definitely use a little bit more, or of a mix. And overall, though, I find the VR aspect to be pretty easy on the eyes. It's not as jarring as some of those other first-person games. Visually, the graphics in Chronos are sufficient. I wouldn't say it's pushing the boundaries or limits. It's definitely sufficient for this type of gameplay. Now, you have basically two sets of worlds you're going to be going in and out of. You have the post-apocalyptic world that you're in, and then you'll be transported more to those dungeon castle areas. But it has a nice mix. Now, through the computer, on your, through your PC, on a monitor, the game looks visually great. You have some sharp-looking details, but when you're experiencing it through the Oculus Rift, the visuals do seem a little bit, softer looking. I'll be frank, Chronos is a tough game. You're gonna die, and die over and over and over again. It's a game that has a lot of trial and error with the various puzzles and enemies, and like I said before, timing is crucial. So this game can be very frustrating because of the amount of times you're gonna perish, especially when you fall off a cliff that's not really that high and you age by a year. But anyway, this is a decent start to where adventure RPGs can go after this. The VR aspect here in Chronos is very subtle, a little bit of articulation and interaction, but we're curious to see where it could go after this. At $50, it's not terribly expensive. At the same time too, though, you're going to invest a lot of time in this game. So that's Chronos for the Oculus Rift in a nutshell. It's a tough game, but if you can handle it, it's pretty rewarding. So if you guys want to learn more about this game, you could check out our website, vrsource.com. This is John Velasco, signing out.